expecting from Jesus Christ to manifest during his next visit, and humility. What is the difference between his first appearance and his glory?
Well,
was his first appearance not a glorious appearance? This is my question.
It was.
Wasn't it? Yet he appeared in all humility. Now, glory was the glory of the spiritual world, not of this earth. And this was pointed out repeatedly by Jesus Christ, that he did not care for the glory of this earth at all. Because when he was pointedly asked about his claim, he gave the coin back to Pilate, telling him that what belongs to Kaiser, whose picture, first of all he said, whose picture is on this? Whose face is that? That of Kaiser. So what belongs to Kaiser, give it to Kaiser. It's not mine. What he wants to tell his people was that he was the same Christ who was to come in glory, in crown. But his crown was a spiritual crown. His glory was a religious glory, not a profane glory which was being expected by the Jews of the time. No, what I'm trying to deliver, I'm trying to convince you this time again is that it is the same Jesus with the same attitude to this world who would reappear. He would not appear in a manner as it would be impossible for any wicked man to refuse, to disbelieve in him. If he appears in a form where even the most wicked would be left with no choice but to believe in him, then the purpose of sifting the right from the wrong would be defeated and frustrated totally. Then one more fine morning we will wake up with all our sins, with all our wicked habits, observing Jesus Christ appearing and believing in him. Now, what is the purpose of this whole exercise? To me, this is just meaningless, and it doesn't convey anything to me. To me, the most glorious appearance was the first appearance of Jesus Christ. In his humility, I find glory. In his sacrifices, I find that eternal brilliance which will never fade out. So to me, that glory, that Jesus Christ is much more lovable than any appearance which is like the appearance of sun. It doesn't mean anything. And then there is the end of the world immediately afterwards. What purpose is served?
Well, to set up the New Jerusalem, as our book of Revelation says.
And the mankind is not given any chance to survive, having rectified their ways and reformed
Mankind
themselves.
will be resurrected.
What?
We believe that mankind will be resurrected, that our bodies will live again, that our literal, these mortal bodies will become immortal.
That again is a question on which we differ.
Yeah.
According to Islam, as we see again, the fasting break of time.
Anyone else would like to ask questions? George and I can have
on the question about death, I think you said it would have been a shame, you believed, if I think what you believed, that if Christ had died, I think you said you believed he miraculously escaped the cross. But I think reasonably the whole point was that he had to die because probably many people then and so many today don't believe in a life after death, to show that there is life after death, and also to take the fear of death that so many people have away.
There is a way of saying things, of course. There is one angle of looking at things, but my angle is absolutely different. The fact is that if my first declaration is to be accepted, that religious phenomenon should be a worldwide phenomenon, and it should have consistency in its revelation and manifestation, then this is a problem faced by man ever since religion is introduced to man. Life after death is a question which has been bothering human beings, which has been agitating human minds since time immemorial and everywhere on earth. So if this is the purpose of Jesus Christ's resurrection, to establish a proof, number one, this should have happened everywhere in the world, because everywhere people were looking for such a proof. Moreover, the proof which should have been established should have been much more beyond doubt. It should not have been just a testimony of some of his own followers, but it should have been witnessed by his enemies. This is how the proofs are established. Those who already believed in life after death, he establishes that proof to them. Those who did not believe in life after death, to them he does not establish this proof at all, because he doesn't appear before them. So this is the main problem with us. You know, those who were the suspicious people, who were the doubting people, to them he doesn't appear. Those who already believed in him, to them he appears. So the fact is that this is no purpose served at all. Life after that, again, is something which is debatable. How it's going to happen? According to your belief and according to the belief of the rest of Muslims as well, we will be raised from the dead bodily, in the same body in which we are found today. Now, we have many objections against it, both from the Quranic declarations as well as from logical point of view. If a man dies of old age, the body which he relinquishes is an old body. Which body would be revived?
We're not quite sure.
The old body or the body when he was a child?
Right. We have thought about this.
You see? And if the man is limping, to death, would he be revived, limping to life?
Nobody would have a
If a man is a blind man, is a leper and things like that, and an ugly person and a black person and a white person and a yellow person, would they be revived in the same order, in the same color, in the same
I'm
habit,
pretty sure they'd be the same.
the same advantages and disadvantages?
We
This is
don't
meaningless.
have any disadvantages.
To my mind, according to the Holy Quran as well, I can quote verses after verses in the Holy Quran, the revival from the dead would be a spiritual revival. This body would not be raised again in the same form.
Not in the
It
same
would be, no, not at all. It's meaningless. This body would decay and would be left behind. According to Islamic philosophy, the soul, which is the consciousness we feel here, which is I, which is the distinct personality each one carries along with him, which is not just a physical being, it is something supreme, which is not just my life as well. It is something which is controlling mind, which is receiving impressions and computing and is overlord everywhere within the body. That is the soul. Now, if we act wrongly, if we become criminals, that soul becomes, receives impressions from that ugly life and becomes ugly.
It takes it to heart, really.
And something of the nobility dies with every crime we commit here. And we know it. If we act nobly, if we are kind to our fellow beings, if we are honest and truthful, and if we are true to God and to ourselves, we know positively that a noble soul is being born within us. We know it. I mean, there is no outside witness which is required. And that soul, when it dies, when we die, according to us, becomes the body for the next soul which will be born from within him, within this soul. In comparative terms, we are traveling to a finer existence, more and more refined. And this is the evolution after death. You see, we believe that the whole course of evolution indicates that we will be raised in a more refined form. life can